Hey, good morning, everyone. Scary here. It's a Monday. It's let's see, it's like 10:30 in the morning, Monday. So it's a late start for me. Before I start this episode today, I want to make an announcement. I know my videos, the way I air episodes, it's been very inconsistent. It's all over the board, and people should be able to count on the wheres and whens. So until further notice, all my episodes will be on every Friday and every Sunday. I tell them to just do 2 week Friday and Sunday. And the reason I talked to a few people on my street and people that are following me, and they're saying, look, the best time to do it is during the weekend because most people have real jobs. Unlike when I was working for my company, it wasn't a real job. And retail's not a real job. You work all kinds of hours. But I'm going to start doing them every Friday and every Sunday for now. And if it changes, it'll be in the description box of my front page. It'll be under there. Okay, so now I got that out there. Moving forward, and in this Monday episode, I have to view it today. So I have to air it today, so you guys know what's going on. Moving forward, because I follow a few other podcasts out there. I watch these other people, and I like to be able to count on when they air their episodes, so I can get to look forward to it. So okay, so that said. Today I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to describe it and get it out there. But I started out earlier on my newer episodes. My earlier episodes there was one called NFL, and this is going to be kind of on the shirt tails of that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And what I want to say is, if you have one job, and that is to be in the best shape of your life and to perform your duty at your job, whether the job be, an accountant or a ditch digger or a guy who works in a skyscraper or a guy that works in an office building or a guy that bags groceries or a guy that cuts meat the way I used to. You would want to do it the best of your ability, and if you do it long enough, you become really, really good at it. I think collectively we could all agree on that. Any job, anyone, right? If you do it long enough, just by the laws of nature, just by the laws of average, you do something long enough, you become really good at it, right? So let's take these professional athletes. And now, because I'm a huge Cincinnati Bengal fan, these guys here, my blood pressure goes through the ceiling when I watch these guys play. And it's because I get I'm so passionate about the game and passionate about my Bengals, and I really want to see them get to a Super Bowl final again and finally win one for the city, because I think we have the best fans in the country. That said, if you're an athlete and you're playing at the level of the NFL, you have to maintain your body to be a working machine. You're already born with a gift to make it to that level of play. To be a professional athlete of any kind, you were born with a gift. Because most walk-ons in colleges and universities, they're just that. They're walk-ons. They're in it for a degree in something that other than professional football or professional sports or professional baseball or professional hockey or soccer or whatever. Every sport has walk-ons. And they're not going to be professional athletes. They're just not going to be. And maybe they don't get any field of play. Maybe they do get some field of play. But sometimes they don't. And they're just walk-ons. But if you're not a walk-on and you make it to the NFL, we're going to use the NFL as an example today because I really feel very passionate about this. If you make it to the NFL, and you watch these guys being interviewed at the locker rooms. They are chiseled. They are, twisted steel for muscles, unless you're an offensive lineman. And an offensive lineman, they just got to be fat. They're strong. Sure, they're strong underneath all that fat. But they got to hold off a force coming at them. So the O-linemen, we call them O, but if people know, offensive linemen, they're usually big and they got guts on them. But the guts are solid because they lift weights. You know what I mean? But they're big. They're massive. If we can go to Japan and get a bunch of sumo wrestlers and put that on the offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals, that'd be perfect. No one would ever get through. Giant sumos. These guys, what, 300, 400, 500-pound guys? They wouldn't be able to move very fast, but no one would get through. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but why not? Why not? So you'd have to make 5X, 10X jerseys for these guys because they're so fat and huge, but that would be a perfect O-line. But that's what they are. So take away the offensive linemen. The defensive guys are chiseled. The wide receivers, these tight ends, these running backs, the quarterbacks, they're all chiseled steel. They're in great shape. And that's what their job is. Their job, to perform their job properly, like you would an accountant, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, an office job, and we've discussed it. We've already discussed this. To do that job correctly and to keep that job, you got to be the best at that job. Which brings me to my next topic I want to bring up with the NFL. If these guys stay in shape and keep themselves right, by week 1, they should be performing as such. I don't want to see someone limping off the field because they sprained something. Now, granted, you're getting hit pretty hard out there. That's no cakewalk, but your body should be able to take that punishment week in and week out because you've been doing it since you were in, Pop Warner football. I don't know, Pop Warner football that starts at like 3rd grade? Something like that? Excuse me. 3rd grade, 4th grade, Pop Warner football, when you first get introduced to football? I don't know. I didn't play football. I was too skinny. My dad wouldn't let me. I wanted to go out for wide receiver. He said, nah, they'll snap you in 2. You won't make it. So I played golf and basketball and ice hockey. Those are the sports I liked. But anyways, so week 1, we had one injury on the offensive line. He went limping off the field. He did something to his knee. That's a loss. He'll probably be out for the season. I think if we look at, and I'm not into the statistics of every other team out there. I'm just concentrating on my Bengals. But I mean, I'm sure there was several injuries throughout the weekend this week. First game of the year for these teams. Granted, that's going to happen, especially when you got monsters hitting monsters, or defensive linemen or defensive backs smashing into a wide receiver. The punishment they take, I can't imagine the body can take that kind of heat, but it does, and you get used to it. What I don't accept is spring training for any team, not just the Bengals, not just the Reds, but spring training for any team. You're off all season. You're off all the off season through the winter months, and let's say you didn't make it to the playoffs. Well, then you're free to go, right? Then you don't have to be punching the clock anymore for your NFL team or your baseball team or whatever sport that may be. If you have to clock in, clock out, whatever, it doesn't matter. You should come to work fit and ready to go. So in the off season, I think you should take care of yourself. I mean, your body is your moneymaker. That's your breadbasket, your body. Stay in the gym, work out. Don't lax. And I've watched some of these guys being interviewed, and they talk about what they do in the off season. And a lot of the good ones, they stay in the gym. They stay regimented to their diet. They stay physically fit. They run. They exercise. They don't go out partying, chasing pussy, and drinking. There are guys that do that, and they wash out. You see them wash out every year. They don't make the team because they were partying too much, going playing blackjack to casino and chasing pussy, or chasing guys if that's what they like. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge them for their sexual preference. I'm just saying, stay in shape. So that really pisses me off when they don't. Because then you're thinking, okay, let's say, because I don't go to games anymore. It's gotten too expensive. Ever since the Bengals have gotten better, they got a better club. ticket prices have gone through the ceiling. I mean, I can't afford them. I was an average guy, made $50,000 a year. I lived damn good on $50,000 a year, but not good enough to spend $500 for a seat for a game. And the nosebleed seats, I've gone on Ticket Hub and I've looked. The nosebleed seats at the Paycor Stadium, they're like $200 and $300 for a nosebleed section up in the grandstand. You need binoculars to see the field. People are paying it, and they're selling out crowds. So let's fast forward to the mother and the father, and they take maybe 2 of their high school sons to a game. So it's 4 of them. That's over $1,000 just for tickets. Just for tickets. For good seats, just for tickets for 4. Over $1,000. And then you got to factor in parking. Oh, and then you got to factor in concessions. All of it. The whole day is $2,500 to $3,000 for one afternoon of fun when it used to be so much cheaper. So that said, fans, fanatics, that's what FAN stands for, by the way. I'm not sure a lot of people know that, but FAN is short for fanatics. Go to the games to root on their team, and they get really into it. I mean, I used to love going to football games, love it. But again, like I said, I can't afford them anymore. But they go down to a game, they spend all that hard-earned money, and they plan it out a week or 2 weeks in advance. And everyone in the family moves their schedules around to be to that one game they want to see them play against whoever, the Seahawks or the Pittsburgh Steelers, the dirty Steelers. Oh, I hate the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. They're dirty. They play dirty. They've always played dirty. So we call them the dirty Steelers. So anyway, and we got them at home this year, which is good. I hope we fucking wax their ass. So they plan their whole week or the whole month or a whole year on that one game, only to see a couple of the players come out real substandard form. You know, they don't play real hard because they can't, maybe because they're out of shape. First or second game at the beginning of the year, when they can get away with it. Well, then they wash out by game 3 or game 4, and that has a lot to do with ticket sales. You know, our wide receiver, Jamar Chase, is probably undisputedly the number 1 wide receiver in the entire NFL. He's so fun to watch play. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. They were teammates at LSU, and now they're together at the Bengals. I mean, they're dynamic players, and they're fun to watch. It would change the game if either of those guys weren't playing. A lot of seats wouldn't be filled. A lot of fans wouldn't be there if Burrow wasn't throwing the ball to Chase and Chase wasn't catching the ball from Burrow. So we have marquee players out there, and I think that draws. I mean, me as a fan now, I'll go to there's some guys on my street in my condominium community. They have a TV outside and they watch the game, and I've just been invited this year because I'm now retired and I can go. I had the free time to go. But they sit around, they huddle around, they watch the game together. That was exciting. I went up there yesterday to watch the Browns game. Boy, that was an ugly win. We should have lost it, but we won it. But everyone should show up. Athletes should show up for every game in the best possible form, the best possible shape they could be in. You're getting paid some of these guys, millions of dollars. I'm sure a lot of the guys don't make millions. But some of the premier marquee players, they're getting millions of dollars. And those guys are generally in pretty damn good shape. I know our guys are. But then you get some of the guys that are like maybe defensive linemen or defensive backs or safeties or other. I mean, the Bengals are in pretty good shape this year. I'll give them that. They're in pretty good shape. But there's other teams and years gone by with the Bengals where guys come out real lackluster and they got to ride the pine for the rest of the year, or they get hurt, or they pull something. No. Doesn't fly with me. When you're a professional athlete like the Cincinnati Bengals or whoever, whatever team, you should be in top form, just like in any other job that you have that's going to pay your bills. There, I was on my soapbox. I had to get off my soapbox. Now I'm going to climb off my soapbox and get on with my day. But I appreciate you coming by and looking at my content. It's not always going to be funny. Sometimes it's just going to be me ranting because I like to rant. And most of my friends don't like being around me when I'm watching football games. I'm screaming at the TV set, my blood pressure through the ceiling. And I'm in really good shape. My blood pressure shouldn't have to go high. But when you drop a pass, it's thrown right to you, right at the numbers, and you drop it, come the fuck on. You're a pro. Catch the ball. We didn't have a drop pass yesterday. I'm just saying, in general. I see that shit. All right, thanks for coming by. Good to see everyone. Thanks for watching my content, hanging in there with me. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you again on Friday for my next episode and Sundays. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.